My name is Delton, and I'm the drum teacher at the William Grant Steele Art Center. Okay, in these drum sessions, we're going to be covering some fun things in regards to music, rhythmic notation, and things. So I want to just do a brief overview right now before I get into the lesson. Okay, so here are the few things that we're going to cover. We're going to cover tempo, rhythmic notation, time signature, and a few other things in regards to music theory, just so we can get our chops up when we're playing drums. Okay? And the first thing I'm going to focus on right now is tempo. What's tempo? Tempo is the speed in which a piece of music is played. And as you can see, I have the letters BPM under tempo. That means beats per minute. When it comes to beats per minute, what does that mean? Okay, so I'm going to show you an example in regards to tempo. I'm going to bring up this metronome here that's found on YouTube. I'm gonna have links a part of the lesson so you can practice along with. So basically, a metronome is something as a device to keep tempo. As simple as that. You can go to YouTube and type in different tempos, or you can download a free app that keeps time. So let's go over this. So beats per minute. Okay. So right now I have this set at 90 beats per minute. That means when you hear this click, okay, so basically when we do that 90 times is in 1 minute it's going to click. If you snap your fingers along with this, you're going to snap your fingers 90 times in 1 minute. Okay, so that means in 1 minute you would have snapped your fingers 90 times. Okay, so that's why we say beats per minute. It's how many beats that can fit in that 1 minute. Does that mean we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? No. It's a steady tempo. What is tempo again? It's the speed in which we play music. Okay? When it's nice and steady, that's why we use a metronome. Notice how it's nice and steady, okay? So this is the first thing. I want you to either snap your finger or clap your hand with the metronome, okay? You can snap your finger or clap your hand, okay? Okay? So basically, you're keeping tempo with this metronome. Okay, that's something very important. All right, now, along with that, I want you to start counting. We're going to count to 4. Okay, if you notice in that corner, you're going to see a /4. That's dealing with time signature. We're going to deal with that in just a moment. So what I want you to do is, I want you to at least count 1, 2, 3, count to 4 with this metronome. You're going to count with me. Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, and stop. Okay? So it's very crucial when we play drums that we have a steady beat, we have a steady tempo, because when it comes to drums, basically people are relying on us to keep the tempo when we're playing with other musicians. Okay? So that's tempo. We went over tempo, which is the speed in which we play music. All right. Now within that tempo, we have different tempos. This one is at 90 beats per minute. Okay. Throughout the lessons, you're going to hear me talk about that. Like for example, I may say, you know what, I want you to be able to play these particular measures at least at 70 beats per minute. Okay? So, so hopefully we understand in regards to beats per minute. The first one is 90. That means at a steady tempo, in 1 minute, we will snap our fingers 90 times. Or you would have to a steady tempo going, that click sound, 90 times in that 1 minute. Okay? So that's tempo, beats per minute, and basically I pulled this up on YouTube. And like as I stated earlier, the links are going to be posted with the lessons. Okay? So this is the lesson on tempo. Okay. In this particular session, we're going to be going over the great rhythmic tree. Okay? We're going to be going over the rhythmic tree. All right. So as you can see, the reason why it's called a rhythmic tree, because it almost looks like a tree. All right. So at the top here, we have what we call a whole note. Okay? A whole note gets 4 counts of sound. All right. I'll be going over the individuals in just a bit. So this is a whole note, 4 counts of sound. This is a half note, gets 2 counts of sound. That's why you see there's 2 half notes under this whole note. Okay? Quarter note, it gets 1 count of sound. Okay? So let's look at those individually. Okay? So here we have a whole note. Okay? A whole note gets 4 beats of sound. Okay? I'm going to basically clap out or hold out an example. I'm going to have my metronome going. It's going to be 90 beats per minute, and I'm going to hold out a whole note, 4 beats of sound. For example, 1, 2, I will hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Basically, it's 4 counts of sound, 4 beats of sound. All right. So now we'll be going on to the half notes. Okay. A half note receives 2 beats of sound. Okay. I'm going to give an example with that. Great metronome here. 1, 2, half note. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? Basically, it's 2 counts of sound. So, there may be a questioning bubbling up in your mind. All right? So, when it comes to playing drums, how do I, once you play with your sticks, once you strike the drum 1 time, how do you hold it out for 2 counts? Okay? So, yeah, valid question. I'm so glad you're asking. In regards to this, whenever we see a half note, basically we just give it its value. We strike the drum once, and we just basically know not to play on that second beat. Okay? There's some music that I'm going to be playing. You're going to be working on, and it's going to have half notes, quarter notes, whole notes, and things like that. Because when we get further up into rudiments during rolls, sometimes you may see a roll and you're rolling for 4 counts, you're rolling for 2 counts, or something like that. So another time. So for now, we do strike the drum once, and we just honor those 2 counts, or we honor the 4 counts and such. Okay? So the next one is going to be the quarter note. Okay? The quarter note receives 1 beat of sound. Okay? It receives 1 beat of sound. For example, I have a metronome going here. I'm going to play one quarter note on count 1. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, quarter note, play. 1, 2, ready, and 1. Okay, so basically a quarter note receives 1 beat of sound. A half note receives 2 beats of sound, and a whole note receives 4 beats of sound. If we just do a quick review here, whole note, 4 beats of sound, half note, 2 beats of sound, quarter note, 1 beat of sound. Notice the symbol for each of these. Okay? All right, we can see that the whole note is basically a circle. It's like we have like a dot with like a hollow circle in the middle. Okay, so notice, it may look like this, or it may look similar to this. Okay, so just know that whenever you see this particular symbol, it's a whole note receiving 4 counts of sound. All right, and then we look at the symbol for the half note. It looks similar to the whole note, however, this one has a stem. Okay, this one has a stem. That's what we call this part here. All right, now notice the quarter note looks similar to the half note. However, basically there is no dot. I mean, there's not like any kind of space in the middle. Okay, just a solid dot with the stem. All right, now we're going to get a little bit further along into 8th notes and 16th notes. For right now, I want us to focus on whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. Okay, another time we're going to be focusing on the equivalent rest, like a whole rest, half rest, and quarter rest. Okay, so in this particular lesson, we're going to be going over measures, time signature. Okay, all right, measures and time signature. If we can see, I just covering these things together. You're going to see why in just a moment. All right, first thing, let's look at this. Here it says measure 1, measure 2. Okay, this right here, this is what we call a bar line. Okay, this is called a bar line. This right here is called a bar line. All right, the lines that we see here, the 5 lines, we call those staff lines. Okay, so now notice how we have the staff lines and we have this bar in between. Once that bar is in between like that, that now has created 2 measures. Okay, so basically we can see that a measure is basically the space in between the bar line. Okay, in between the bar lines. So we have this measure 1 and measure 2. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is time signature. All right, so let's now look at this. Time signatures are placed at the beginning of a piece of music. They're made up of 2 numbers. Okay, so the top number shows the number of beats per measure. Okay, so now if we look at this example, this is the top number. It demonstrates the beats per measure. So what number is this? This is number 4. So there's 4 beats per measure. Now, if we remember, these are what? These are quarter notes. Okay, these are quarter notes. That's why, and quarter notes equals 1 count. That's why we can fit 4 quarter notes into 1 measure. All right, so now the next thing, the bottom number. The bottom number shows what kind of note will get 1 beat. All right, so in 4/4 time, there are 4 beats in each measure. A quarter note gets 1 beat. So that number 4, it represents the quarter note. All right, the number 4 represents the quarter note, which means this quarter note is what gets the beat. All right, maybe we may get into like 6/8, things like that. But so top number. So this is a really great way I like to remember this. I say top number, beats in the measure. Top number, beats in the measure. Bottom number, what beat gets the count. What beat gets the count. Let's try it again. Top number, beats in the measure. Top number, beats in the measure. Bottom number, what beat gets the count. What beat gets the count. All right, so here we have the time signature and basically the measures. The measures are basically the space in between the bar lines. Here we have 2 measures. Okay, so this is about time signature and measures. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.